Hi guys, happy Monday, happy June 1st. Can you believe it? We have made it to June. So today we are going to start multiplying mixed numbers times mixed numbers. Last week we did whole numbers times a mixed number, which you guys did awesome at. And then it got a little trickier when we did a fraction times a mixed number. So today I'm going to throw you a little bit for a doozy, and we're going to do mixed numbers times mixed numbers. Okay, so again, I have my box here, which kind of represents, some of you maybe have done the box method before, but it's kind of like that break apart method that we used at the beginning of the year when multiplying whole numbers, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to write break apart 2 and 1/4 here, okay? And I'm putting a line down the middle to kind of separate them, okay? So now going this way, I am going to represent breaking apart 3 and 1/2. Okay, and I'm going to change up my colors here. So I like to start at the top here, and I like to take my top numbers and multiply it by the first top number here. Okay, so the first thing that I would multiply together would be 2 times 3. Okay, and the second thing I'm going to multiply is 1/4 times 3. Okay, so next I'm going to take those two top numbers. Since I've multiplied 2 and 1/4 by 3, now I have to take 2 and I have to multiply it by 1/2. Okay, and then I have to take 1/4 and multiply it by 1/2. Okay, so now I need to solve all of these. Okay, 2 times 3 is 6. So remember, any number over 1 is itself. So then 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 1 is 4. So 1/4 times 3 equals 3/4. Okay. 2 times 1/2 is 2/2, which I know equals a whole. Okay. And then 1/4 times 1/2 equals 1/8. Okay. So now what am I going to do with all of these numbers? Well, I'm going to add them up. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to add up is 6, plus 1 here, because I know that's 7. Okay. And now I have to add up 3/4 times 1/8. So remember, whenever I'm adding fractions, I need to make sure that they have a common denominator. So this is where that trick, when I said to you guys, is one a multiple of the other, comes in handy, because I know I don't have to change 1/8 because 4 is a multiple of 8. So I can change 3/4 to 6/8. 6/8 plus 1/8 equals 7/8. Okay, 7/8 is an improper fraction. So, or I'm sorry, 7/8 is not an improper fraction. What am I talking about? So then I'm going to add 7 plus 7/8 together, and my final answer is going to be 7 and 7/8. So see how much work is involved with these? Also, it kind of puts all of the concepts together that we've been learning. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the next one here is 6 and 2/5 times 5 and 1/7. So step 1 is first to break these mixed numbers apart. So I'm going to write 6 and 2/5 here. Okay, and then going this way, I'm going to do 5 and 1/7. Okay, just to kind of help you guys out with sort of seeing what we're gonna, or how we organize this. I'm going to use blue to show that first we're going to take those top numbers and we're going to multiply both of those times 5. So I'm first going to do 6 times 5. Okay, and then I'm going to do 2/5 times 5. Okay, so next I'm going to take 6, and I'm going to go down to that bottom number, and I'm going to do 6 times 1/7, and then I'm going to take 2/5, and I'm going to multiply it by 1/7. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is I want you to pause the video, and I want you to solve all of these right here on your own. Okay, pause the video and go. Okay, so hopefully when you solved all of these, you got 30. Anything over 1 is itself, so here I have 10/5. Okay, now I know 10/5 is an improper fraction, and if I divide 10 divided by 5, I get 2. Okay, so that makes that a little bit easier to work with. Okay, this is going to be 6/7. Okay, and then this one is going to be 2/35. Okay, so again, remember we're going to add up these whole numbers here, and we get 32. Okay, but now I need to add up 6/7 plus 2/35. Okay, so remember we got to find a common denominator. So right now I want you to pause the video and find a common denominator between these, solve it, and check with me to see if you have the right answer. Okay, so hopefully you said to yourself that you knew that 7 is a multiple of 35. So all you had to do was multiply 7 times 5 and 6 times 5, because we don't even need to change 2/35. Okay, so when I do that, I get 30/35. Okay, so now I can say that I have 32/35, and I'm going to then add 32 to that. So my final answer would be 32 and 32/35. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so at this point, if you feel like maybe you want to try this next one on your own, why don't you go ahead and do that, and then you can check your work over with me. Okay, so if you're feeling like you want to do this on your own, stop the video now. Okay, so here we go. So I'm first going to take, 2 3/5 here. Okay, and I'm going to break it apart. Okay, and then I'm going to take 9 1/10, and I'm going to break that apart. Okay, so first things first, we need to multiply 2 times 9. Okay, and then we need to multiply 3/5 times 9. Okay, next I am going to multiply 2 times 1/10. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and multiply 3/5 times 1/10. Okay, so if I do that, I get 18. Okay, I get 27/5, which is going to be equivalent to 5 2/5. Okay. Then I'm going to do this one, which is 2/10. Okay. Then I'm going to do this one, which is 3/50ths. Oh boy, this one's a doozy, okay? So what I'm first gonna do is I'm first gonna go ahead and add up my whole numbers here, okay? Because I just like to get those guys out of the way. And when I do that, I get 23, okay? So now I have to add up 2/5, 2/10, and 3/50ths. So I have to think about a common denominator that they have between them, okay? So I know that 5 and 10 are multiples of 50. So I don't even have to change 3/50ths, okay? But I do have to rename 2/10, okay? So I am going to multiply the 10 times 5 and this times 5, and I get 10/50ths, okay? So now I have to multiply 5 times 10 and 2 times 10, which gives me 20/50ths. Okay, so if I add all this up, I get 33/50ths. And don't forget your whole number. So your final answer is going to be 23 and 33/50ths. These are doozies.